Back now on Insight, we are joined by another small business owner in the Quad Cities, Rachel Pitford with Life Advisors LLC joins us now. Rachel, thanks for being with us today.
Yes, thanks for having me.
Of course. So tell us about Life Advisors LLC. What type of service does it offer?
So I have a personal and professional development company, and what we do is specialize particularly in small business consulting and also marketing consulting.
What made you want to get into this business?
So it's always been a passion of mine. Even growing up, I had always been super interested in personal and professional development. Knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur before I even knew how to spell it. I had a junior achievement session one day in elementary school, and I'm like, I don't want to work for other people. Like, I want to do this for myself. And so had always been something that, a dream that I followed, went to school for it, and here we are today.
Yeah, so you talked about a little bit about that process. How about the resources that you've kind of drawn on to help your business? What kind of things were out there that you took advantage of? So
aside from the textbook education, you do the college thing, but the thing that has been the most beneficial for me was taking advantage of the resources, the programs, and even the community resources in general that are available to us and accessible, and really taking advantage of those and using them, to grow my business. So I'm heavily immersed in the community as far as volunteerism, and also have been working with the chamber over time as that has evolved. And yeah, there's a lot of great things out there that people just really need to know about, and so we're luckily have the opportunity to help work towards that.
Yeah. What type of businesses do you help in your business? Like, what type of people come to you for your services?
Yeah, so it's typically those small women or minority businesses, and I've also had the opportunity to work with some larger agencies, which are typically the nonprofit sector. And so these may be agencies that don't necessarily traditionally have large marketing budgets or the resources, and have reached out to get some of that help know either their mission or their business.
Sorry, we're gonna have to pause really quickly. So your hair is on the microphone. Yeah, so if you could just flip it back just a little bit like that. Perfect. Yeah, just so it doesn't, we want to hear you nice and clearly. That's okay, no problem. Yeah, so, all right, sorry about that. So yeah, we can keep going. Let's talk about your passions and how they pour over into your business strategies and how they help you on a daily basis.
I think one of the unique things about my business is because so much of it has evolved based on word of mouth and those connections that I've made just through volunteerism and the networking, that I've had the opportunity to work with businesses and on missions that I am truly passionate about. So when I was speaking of the nonprofit sector, one of the things that I am truly passionate about is affordable housing and the homelessness crisis that we're facing in the area or even nationwide. And so having the opportunity to work on marketing campaigns for those type of things, in addition to working with different, the Lift Foundation that was spoke to earlier, had the opportunity to help with their launch events. So just really, just doing different things that I'm already connected to and care about it and passionate about. And so it just gives a lot of intrinsic value to what I do, and just makes it, you're happy to work, get up and go to work every day.
Absolutely. Yeah, tell me about that, because it's not always the case that people who are using in their professional lives get to deal with things that are so near and dear to their own heart and their own beliefs and their own passions. What's that like for you?
It makes your work just very purpose-driven and make you happy and excited and passionate about what you do. And once you're passionate about something, it really translates into the results and how people receive. And so,
just like many people that are small business owners, you guys are really into the business of making connections, right? That's so pivotal when it comes to running a small business. What kind of connections are you making that are kind of helping you and your business along?
So essentially the Black Business Council is one that is primary, so having the opportunity to network and collaborate with fellow business owners, and then just getting out there and just being immersed in the community in general. So when there are things out there, showing up is sometimes, what a person just needs to do in order to get the ball rolling and be able to, tackle some of those challenges, or have access to those resources that can help their business thrive, grow, and, develop over time.
Speaking of being immersed in the community, what is this community like, the Quad Cities community, when it comes to small business and running and thriving one?
I think we do very well with what we offer in the community, and so it's a matter of people not only seeking the information, but as I mentioned, showing up, because there is so much to offer in so many different sectors. And I think we are really at an advantage with this being such a tight-knit community where there are collaborative efforts between multiple entities where people can really fulfill their dreams and probably to levels that they never even imagined. And it's just a matter of getting out there and seeking, and sometimes all you have to do is ask.
You know, we talked about who you work with, and you said, you know, mostly small businesses, minority owned businesses. We know that there are still gaps out there, especially in this community, but what have you seen so far in your work with those businesses? Are you seeing something, a little bit of a growth, or where are the trends laying as far as that goes here in the Quad Cities area?
So definitely with the growth, but I think one of the primary areas where I would like to help fulfill a gap is in the area of marketing. And so sometimes it's an afterthought, or a lot of things where people try to DIY it because you have that, all you have to do is fill the blank. And so it's getting people to have that clear understanding that it's truly beyond, you know, that latest TikTok viral dance, or, you know, it just goes way beyond that at a much deeper level. So really understanding the psychology of marketing, and even understanding that you have to put yourself into the customer's perspective. They're who runs our business. Without customers, we don't have a business. And so really looking at that from a different perspective, and also just really understanding some of that behind the scenes things, that such as data tracking and analysis, that really, you know, translate into results. But, you know, without that education or, you know, access to that resource, it's like,
yeah, certainly.
It's hard to know what to do.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's look ahead a little bit. 5 years down the line, where do you see Life Advisors LLC? Where would you like it to see at that point in terms of growth?
Yeah, so I really want to focus on that education piece. So providing that resource where those small business owners, those entrepreneurs can come into a space and learn some of that foundational knowledge that I was speaking of. So beyond the technical of this is how you do digital marketing or a website, really teaching them that the psychology piece, the neuromarketing, or the consumer behavior piece, so they know where to start, who their customer is, who their audience is, before, you know, you get to that point, and just really refining their branding and those messagings.
I'm sure you have people that come to you too, who are kind of just wondering how to get started in terms of their small business and getting it off the ground. What do you tell those people who have those ideas in their head that they're really looking to turn into a business but don't quite know how to get there? Yeah,
so one service that I offer is advising in those, you know, in that context, but also having the opportunity to collaborate with the chamber and offer some workshops in the near future. And so really looking forward to be able to offer that education and even introduce people to some new concepts and ideas that they may not have considered before.
Very important indeed. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you.
And we're going to take a quick break. We'll wrap up the show after that and find out what's next for the Quad Cities Chamber and for businesses in our area. That's all next on Insight.